Hey everybody, I'm Jason, and this is Jay's Project Woods Garage. You never guess where we are. Finally, we're out at the Torino. I don't know how far I'm going to get on this thing today because I still got a whole bunch of work to do. I did get the whole wood pile moved into the garage and some of it moved into the shop. I don't know if you guys can see behind me, but I've got 3 huge red oak trees down, so I'm going to work on getting those cut up and get them split and get them put away. My neighbors need firewood too, so I'm going to try to take care of them as best I can. But do you guys want to see the car? But first, I was watching Uncle Tony's garage. Why does it seem like turmoil always follows that guy everywhere he goes? I mean, I don't know what happened with Lamb Chop, but that guy was actually pretty cool. And he's not even on the channel anymore. And that whole deal with Lunar Outlaw Garage, that went south. And it seems like things are going south with Mopar Al. Turmoil. He is New York. I got a little story for you guys. So several years ago, the company I used to work for, a guy came down, well, transferred from Chicago, and he came in as a GM. Nobody could get along with the guy. I have a lot of friends that are from up around Chicago because of fireworks and stuff, but this guy couldn't get along with anybody. They kept moving him around and everything, and finally one of the regional managers asked me, so what's the deal? How come nobody gets along with this guy? I said, he's just too Chicago for around here. And if you know Chicago, or you live in Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, or if you're close to a big city, and you just kind of understand what I mean. I don't know, people from big cities are just a little different. They're not bad. They can be a little abrasive without even realizing it. And that was the problem with that guy. And I think that's part of the problem with Uncle Tony. It's just their personality. Let's see what else. But do you guys want to see the car? But first, let's talk about some of the features. It's got a 69 429 with a 4-speed. Beautiful paint. Super nice car. It's missing a few pieces. That's no big deal. You want to see the car? Let me take your head off the stand and I'll show you. Are you ready? Okay, here you go. Dun dun dun. I know what you're thinking. Jason, have you lost your damn mind? You can't revive that thing. Well, I may have misled you guys just a little bit. I'm not trying to revive the whole car, but there are some parts on it that I really want, and I'll show you what those are. Sometimes you just have to take opportunities to get parts whenever you can, especially when they're free and you bought them with the property. I got some other stuff back here too, and eventually I'll show you all that stuff. But the car is an old dirt car. I got flip bang rolled, who knows what, but it's foobar. No rear end. Front suspension, not sure what it's out of. Still got the drum brakes and stuff on it. But the Hurst shifter sticking out of the floor got me excited, and then I walked around the front, and it's a 69 429, which is, the engine is, the block and the crank and everything is garbage, I'm sure. But the heads may still be okay. I took the intake off of it last fall, I think. And as long as the cylinders weren't completely full of water and froze and broke the combustion chambers out of the heads, these may be revivable. And I know it looks bad, but don't freak out. The rockers and everything came off, everything unscrewed, the head bolts came out. Look at that. Now I'm sure the cylinder walls in this thing are completely gone. But if we can save the cylinder heads, and I want to take the pulleys off of it, and I want to get the timing chain cover, and there's a few other things. It's just good stuff to have on a shelf. So don't write off something like this when you see it laying out in the woods. There may still be some good stuff in it. Sorry about the wind and the walnuts. It's fall in Indiana. There's nothing I can do about it. But we're going to take one of these cylinder heads off and see how bad it actually is. And yes, I cheated again. I went ahead and pulled the rockers and got all the head bolts loose. But I got to go through and I got to cut these headers off so I can get these things lifted out of here. Even though I know the whole bottoms of the headers are probably gone. Should we try it without taking the header loose? So my wife was watching TV last night. Have you guys seen Tori Spelling lately? Looks like Mickey Rourke and Joan Rivers had a plastic baby. Oof, it's not good, man. I don't know. Let me go grab a pry with which to. Let me go grab a tool with which to pry. I got a tool with which to pry. These things are stuck on there a little more than I thought they would be. She's stuck, boys. I need a better tool with which to pry. Something bigger, like a forklift. I'm gonna shut you guys off for a minute. I'm gonna run back down to the shop and get my big pry bar. Okay, I went and got my big concrete bar, got it loose, went ahead and cut the headers. Now, here goes nothing. As far as I know, this thing's been sitting out here for, geez, probably close to 40 years. I'm gonna guess sometime in the 70s. So I don't have real high expectations. You ready? I'll let you guys see it before I do. Holy smokes. That's actually not as bad as I was expecting. These heads might be totally savable. This thing's got dome pistons and stuff in it. I figured somebody just pulled this engine out of who knows what and stuffed it in here for a race car, but somebody actually built this thing. I don't know. What are the odds the block's still good? What do you guys think? Should I call my buddy with his skid steer and have him come pluck this thing out of here and take it apart in the shop and see if it's actually savable? I mean, how cool would it be to revive an engine that's been sitting out in the woods this long? Another thing that I really wanted out of this was it's got a top loader 4-speed in it, a big block top loader. The bell housing and the transmission, if they're savable, it's actually worth a little bit of money. And it'd be kind of nice to have sitting on a shelf for who knows what. Leave it down in the comments. Let me know what you guys want me to do with this thing. Because honestly, I thought I was going to get is maybe a set of cylinder heads, and I got the intakes in great shape. It would be awesome if we could actually get this thing running again. Talk about a revival. Something else that's cool about this thing, I mean, this shifter is completely locked up because it's been out in the weather for so long. But the handle and stuff might still be savable. I don't know. Kind of just thinking about cutting the transmission tunnel and cutting a big hole in the firewall and plucking this thing out of here with the skid steer and taking it down to the shop and see what we got. What do you guys think? Ooh, I just wasn't standing at the right angle. Yikes. But that doesn't mean it's dead. I mean, that cylinder could be sleeved if just that one. But I'd be willing to bet that several of these have cracks in them. I don't know. I don't know how serious I'd want to be about a block that was hurt that bad, but I don't know, we'll see. So, a 68 Torino with a 429 4-speed. We'll get the other cylinder head off and we'll see how bad that block is. If it's just that one cylinder's got a big hole in it, it may be worth knocking the thing apart and getting a really good look at it and taking it to the machine shop and having it magnafluxed. If it's just a couple cylinders, I can put thick sleeves in it and might be able to do something with it. I mean, I don't think I'd ever build a race engine or anything super serious out of it, but it would be really, really cool to get the thing running again. I don't know. A couple comments that I've gotten. Gail, yes, you're 100% right. Normally, I would go the extra mile and do everything I could to fix this Explorer. And in the next video, I'm going to go in depth on this thing. But the highlight is there is zero room to get in there and fix that blend door for the switch. A comment was made, hey, you should look up some YouTube videos on how you can get in there and do it, because there's a lot of guys that do this stuff every day that may be able to figure it out or have figured out a shortcut. For all the new guys, I am a body man. I work on 100% commission. I promise, if there was a way to do things faster or easier, I would absolutely find it. But this one, I've got about this much room between the airbox and the dash, and that the shaft that comes through for the blend door is broken off flush. So I would have to go through this way to get a screw or something in it to use a repair kit. The dash is in the way. There's just, you can barely get your hand in there. There's no way I would have to take the dash out. Let's see. Oh, it's been asked a couple times where I'm at. I'm in Morgantown, Indiana. It's between 25 and 30 miles south of Indianapolis. I live in the country, and I love it. New job's going great. No complaints, other than they're loading me up with hard hits. Just no escaping it, I guess. Oh, what else? I'm gonna work on firewood and stuff. I'm gonna try to get all that knocked out. I've got a lot of other stuff to do. This is a really, really busy time of year for me. Trying to get firewood in. I'm trying to get siding on the house. I've still got to put those 6 sheets of OSB on the back of the garage. There's just a lot to do. And when it gets cold out, Jason slows down a little bit. Now I've got wood, I've got some wood in the shop, and I got to bring more in so I can fire up the wood burner so it'll be nice and toasty warm in here. But when I do have heat, I figure out how to say it. When I do have heat, we're gonna be doing some engine tear downs. I gotta finish getting the 69 ready for paint. And I don't know, there's a lot of stuff coming. We still got to do Tecumseh too. There's a lot of stuff coming on the channel, so make sure you like and subscribe. And speaking of subscriptions, I don't know if there's a glitch in the matrix or what happened, but the last video I made on Tuesday, I had 100 and some subscribers. And within like 24 hours, I was over 500. Unfortunately, I think it's because I made 2 videos that were the titles were a little clickbaity. You know, I put Cleus McFarland's name in there, and I put, you know, Vice Grip Garage in there. And I wasn't trying to be clickbaity. That's kind of what was in the video. I don't like clickbaity titles, but I'm over 500 subscribers. You know what that means? I could go to the No Name Nationals next year if I want to. But it seemed like it was Mopar Fest. The two creators that I watch, Unity Motorsports Garage and Two Hacks Garage, both Fords. Casper didn't get done, which is a bummer. And Two Hacks had a problem that I don't know if he's actually announced yet. Those were the only 2 Ford guys that I knew were going to be there. So, do I want to take a Ford to a Mopar Fest? And personally, I think Casper is going to gunsmoke Bottle Rocket. I think Uncle Tony has way too high of opinion of Mopars. You know, the Junkyard Jet, I thought, well, this thing might actually run pretty good. It ran in the 8s with ported cylinder heads and a trick intake and all kinds of other stuff and a big gear. My old 66 Mustang Coupe with a 306, flat tops, nothing special. Bone stock untouched, 68 4-barrel 302 heads, an Edelbrock Performer intake, an Edelbrock 600 carburetor, a Duraspark distributor, a set of headers, and an Urson camshaft. It still had stock rockers and everything on it. A stock torque converter, which was horrible. A C4, and it still had the 6-cylinder rear end in it with a 3.0, I think it was a 3.0 gear. It's nothing. Ran 860s in the eighth. Now, let me inject something here. I did wind up going further with that combo. I put a Hughes converter in it, stalled right around 3,000. I put gears in it, changed out the intake and put a different carburetor and all kinds of stuff, and the thing definitely felt a lot faster, but I never took it back to the track for whatever reason. But a buddy of mine rode in the car before and after, and the first time I launched it, he looked over at me like, holy shit, this thing's a lot faster than it was before. Fairly lightweight car. Engine didn't really make a whole lot of power, but it was a good combo. It was basically stock with a camshaft. I'm not bad-mouthing Mopars. That thing should have run better than that. So should I build something and build a Ford and take it to the No Name Nationals next year? Let me know what you think. It really sounds like I'm bad-mouthing everybody, but... And I don't like controversy, but I just think it's kind of funny. So, you guys get out in the shop and work on your projects. You have a great day, and I will see you next weekend.